Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this one, we're going to go over a few fun practices that we're going to do together to essentially, kind of get more familiar with print function in Python and, to just kind of get you ready for the next videos. All right. So what I want to do in this one is I want to do a few printing practices. And one of the things I recommend, the way I want you to do this, is that I want you to, first of all, there is a file in the resource section. It's a Replit file. If you actually click on it in the resource section, it's going to take you to the Replit, which you can actually fork this and, get this file essentially for yourself. And you can actually code with me here. But again, I want you to think about this. So we got a few simple ones. So the first one is pretty simple, right? Second one is a little bit same thing, kind of, we got a semicolon here. And the third one is actually a bit twisty because we don't want to do the code here. We want to actually print this code. So we want this code to be shown in the results. We don't want to compile this code, but we want this code to be shown. So this is a little bit twisty, and I think it would be a fun practice for us. So the first one is pretty simple, right? So we're gonna go ahead and just say print, and we're gonna do our thing and add our parentheses and put our text here just like that. We got our first function, right? This is a print function and has text in it. And one of the things is that in the print function, you can actually pretty much have any character you want, except a few things which we will go over later on. All right. But again, very simple stuff. You have a dash here and the words and everything. So if you actually run this, here we go. We got that. So that's that. So let's go over the next one. So again, I'm going to do the same thing, print, and we're going to go type this thing and same thing pretty much. We copy this and just like that. So if you run it again, take a look, guys. Print section, this is a print function. This function works like this. So see guys, we have everything good, right? So again, it's a very simple thing. Now, next one is the one I actually want to focus more. So this is essentially printing inside a print. And it is a pretty simple thing if you think about it, but it is going to get you familiar with a very interesting concept. So in Python, when you actually put a print function, let's just put a print function here, okay? So there are a few ways to separate this text. So we usually do quotation marks, right? So this is hello world. This is pretty much how this whole thing works. But also there is a way to actually use a different kind of quotation mark. So you can actually use single quotation or whatever they call this thing. I'm not sure exactly what they call it, but just like that. So this works pretty much the same thing. If I run this, take a look. There we go. So we got this code here, right? Now the reason this is useful is that if you want to have quotations inside quotations, for example, in this case, we're trying to print this, right? So essentially, we're going to have quotations inside quotations. So that's going to be a little bit challenging to make, right? So the way you do this is that instead of starting this thing with quotations, you actually started with single quotes and you say print. Again, because this is whatever that is inside this, right, is going to be a string. It's going to be text. And we're going to have our parenthesis and we're going to have our quotation, which is going to say this, the print string, right? And the way you do this is that you actually have a parenthesis right here and just like that. See guys, so now what is happening is that this print function is going to print anything inside this. So anything inside this is going to be printed. So if I run this, this is going to work and it's going to show this print function. Now let's actually put this in Thunny because it is going to explain it a lot easier. So if you actually, let me just open up Thunny real quick. And if I copy this and just drag it right here, there we go. So if I drop this right here and run it, it's going to obviously show the text, right? So take a look. I'm going to debug it. So we're going to step into. So the first thing is that it starts looking at the whole thing, right? And then it looks at the text. See guys, so this essentially, this part that we have inside is entirely text, nothing else. It's string essentially, right? So that is pretty much it. You know, I just wanted to kind of show you this kind of twisty thing, because this shows the difference between like, you know, a quotation mark and also like something like this, a single quotation mark. So like, it's just like, it's a very like, it's pretty much the same concept really. It really there's nothing different about them. It's more like a preference how you use it. But if you have to use both of them in the same sentence, you can actually use them separately to separate each other, like one from another essentially. So in this case, we used single quotation marks to separate it from the double quotation mark, which is inside this string. And we can actually go opposite, by the way. So we can actually do double quotations, okay? And if I just do this, there we go. Sorry, my computer is just being a little bit difficult. Here we go. So we do double quotation, right? And like, let me just, there you go. So we do double quotation and we do single quotation right here. There we go. So see guys, sorry, my computer was being insanely difficult. There you go. So like, just like that, we actually changed it, right? So now we have single quotations. Again, we got the single quotations, right, inside the doubles. So again, just kind of depends on how you want to do it. There isn't really a right or wrong way, but I just want to point this out. This is how you can actually do have quotes and quotations inside quotations. So like, you know, it would be useful later on when we do advanced functions, such as like, you know, adding strings to each other and stuff like that, and you know, like putting them together, like for example, getting information, all that stuff. So you're gonna see it come in handy a lot later on, but I just wanted to point this out. Make sure you practice this one a lot if you can, and you know, really put it to use, because this is a very useful thing to learn. Thank you so much guys. Make sure you use this practice. I'm gonna leave the empty file for you guys so you can check it out. You can come back to the video if you you know, if you want to like take a look at it again, but I strongly recommend do it off of your memory and just kind of learn it, you know. But yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. Make sure you master this stuff that I just talked about. Very simple stuff, but like, you know, gets you familiar with printing and displaying text in Python. I'll see you in the next one, guys.